You know, you dance pretty good. I mean, for a white girl.
Where'd you learn to dance so good?
In prison. T. Tommy Reed loved to dance. You haven't lived until you cha-cha with a guy on death row.
I'm saying they only want you because you're black.
No.
You knew.
Oh, Julia, come on. I did not just fall off the turnip truck.
Don't disappoint me. When you're finished with your conversation, please bring her to window number 3. Hollywood Montrose. Woo! Doesn't it just sing?
Okay, we need to make a list. 30 feet of black nylon cord.
Ow! Sounds like my kind of list. I'm here to pick up one of my men and take him downtown.
We are downtown.
Oh. I mean downtown. Way down. He's gonna be digging latrines for years.
Did you meet anyone at school today that's up to your social level, your intellectual ability?
No, actually, I didn't.
Duncan, it's not just what you know, it's who you know.
Those hills there.
What about them?
My son Thomas and his wife live on the other side of those hills in Carlsbad.
Son you haven't spoken to in a while.
19 years.
Designing Women star Meshach Taylor passed away this weekend after a long battle with cancer.
You know him as the lovable Anthony Bouvier who stole hearts on Designing Women, the flamboyant Hollywood Montrose who brought magic to mannequin.
I am so glad you're working here.
You are.
Why, of course I am, honey. I never thought they'd hire anyone stranger than me.
And the steady father figure Sheldon on Dave's World. But what you don't know about Meshach Taylor will absolutely amaze you. This wasn't just another actor who got lucky in Hollywood. This was a man who transformed himself from a college dropout working as a radio reporter into one of television's most beloved character actors.
By the way, they want you to replace those burlap bar stools. It seems a couple of people got rope burned.
And the path he took? It involved living in his car, winning prestigious theater awards, and making a decision that changed everything. But here's the twist nobody expected. The role that made him famous was supposed to be just a one-time guest appearance. What happened in that audition room was so extraordinary that it changed television history forever.
But it went over so well that they decided to have me back, and I started coming back every week, and 7 years later, the show was over with. So
on April 11, 1947, in Boston, Massachusetts, Meshach Taylor entered the world as the son of two extraordinary educators. His father, Joseph T. Taylor, who would become the dean of students at Dillard University in New Orleans and later the first dean of arts and sciences at Indiana University, Purdue University, Indianapolis, and his mother, Hertha May Ward Taylor, a dedicated teacher.
Other than my father being a sociologist and the fact that I was politicized at an early age by those Quakers.
But unlike many children of academics, Meshach's path wouldn't follow traditional educational routes. His parents' commitment to education was about to create something unexpected, a performer who understood discipline, excellence, and the power of knowledge in ways that most actors never would.
Excuse me, but are you just completely uncouth or what? Can't you see we're having a family reunion here?
The Taylor family's move from Boston to New Orleans and later to Indianapolis wasn't just changing addresses. They were navigating the complex landscape of American education during the Civil Rights era, with his father pioneering integrated academic programs at major universities. At Crispus Attucks High School in Indianapolis in 1964, while his classmates were focused on typical teenage concerns, something extraordinary was happening in the drama department. Meshach Taylor was discovering a talent that would eventually take him around the world.
I was raised on college campuses in the South, and one of the things that would happen every Friday was a free movie for all the students, and I pretty much had run of the campus, so I'd go and watch the movies, and I really got into Fred Astaire.
This wasn't just casual participation in school plays. At Crispus Attucks, a historically black high school that produced legends like jazz great Wes Montgomery, the arts were taken seriously. The school had a reputation for excellence that demanded nothing less than perfection from its students. When Meshach graduated in 1964, he wasn't just another high school actor. He was a young man who had learned discipline, timing, and the power of performance under the guidance of teachers who understood the transformative power of the arts. But his next move would surprise everyone who knew him. Most children of college administrators follow predictable academic paths, but Meshach Taylor was anything but predictable. He started at Wilmington College in Ohio, studying dramatic arts with the passion that came naturally to him.
At that point, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a performer. I wanted to be on stage, and I wanted to be in the movies and that sort of thing. So
then came the transfer to Florida FAM University in Tallahassee, Florida, a historically black university with a reputation for producing excellence in every field. But just a few credits short of graduation, Meshach made a decision that shocked his academic family. He walked away from college. This wasn't rebellion. This was a young man following a calling that was stronger than any degree. But he wasn't walking away from education entirely. He was about to get an education in life that no university could provide. Back in Indianapolis, working as a State House reporter for AM radio station WIFE, using the on-air name Bruce Taylor. This wasn't just a job. It was journalism school in real time, covering politics, interviewing officials, learning to think on his feet, and communicating complex information clearly. When he moved to television station WLLWI as Bruce Taylor, hosting a community affairs program, he was mastering skills that would serve him throughout his career, connecting with audiences, managing live broadcasts, and understanding what makes compelling television.
But all the while, the theater was calling his name. In 1972, the National Touring Company of Hair changed everything. The groundbreaking rock musical that challenged every convention about theater, music, and American society. When Meshach joined the cast, he wasn't just getting a job, he was becoming part of a cultural revolution. Hair wasn't just entertainment, it was a statement about freedom, individuality, and the power of youth to change the world. For 2 years, Meshach traveled to all 50 states, performing in a show that pushed boundaries and challenged audiences night after night. Playing HUD, he started by singing the iconic Aquarius solo, but as his voice evolved from first tenor to baritone under the strain of nightly performances, his role adapted.
Got no smoke, ain't got no job, ain't got no work, ain't got no toys, ain't got no pennies, ain't got no girl.
This wasn't just vocal change, it was artistic growth in real time. But when the tour ended in Chicago, Meshach made another life-changing decision. 8 years in Chicago. 8 years of intensive theatrical training that would shape everything about his approach to acting. Joining the legendary Goodman Theater and the revolutionary Organic Theater Company wasn't just getting work, it was entering graduate school for the dramatic arts. Working alongside Joe Mantegna, Andre DeShields, Dennis Franz, Keith Sarabica, Jack Wallace, and director Stuart Gordon, Meshach was surrounded by actors who would go on to become household names. This wasn't just the theater company, it was a proving ground for talent that would define American entertainment for decades. But it was his performance in Athol Fugard's play, Sizwe Banzi is Dead, that announced Meshach Taylor as a serious dramatic actor. In 1977, Meshach won the Joseph Jefferson Award for actor in a principal role in a play. This wasn't just any theater award, this was Chicago's equivalent of a Tony Award, recognizing the absolute best in theatrical performance. Sizwe Banzi is Dead wasn't easy material. Fugard's play dealt with apartheid, identity, and human dignity under the most oppressive circumstances. For a young Black American actor to embody these themes with such power and authenticity that he earned Chicago's highest theatrical honor was remarkable. But this was just the beginning of his award-winning streak. His performance as Jim in the WTTW production of Huckleberry Finn earned him a Chicago Emmy Award, recognition that his talent transcended live theater and could captivate television audiences as well. Playing Jim, Mark Twain's complex and deeply human character required understanding literature, history, and the painful legacy of American slavery. When Ted Koppel interviewed Meshach on opening night about Mark Twain's work, he was speaking to an actor who understood the weight
and responsibility of bringing such iconic characters to life. This combination of theatrical excellence and television presence was creating something unique in the entertainment industry. In 1978, Meshach made the move to Los Angeles. For most actors, this move represents hope mixed with terror. For Meshach, it represented a test of everything he'd learned in Chicago. But the transition wasn't smooth. Living in his car for months, working as a day laborer to buy food and gas. This wasn't the glamorous Hollywood story. This was survival. But every morning, he got up and continued pursuing his craft, even when it seemed impossible. The discipline learned from his educator parents, the persistence developed in Chicago theater, and the communication skills honed in radio and television were about to pay off in ways he never imagined. In 1986, the audition for Designing Women would change television history. But this wasn't a typical audition. There was no script. Linda Bloodworth Thomason and Harry Thomason just asked Meshach what he would do in a certain situation as a specific character.
I mean, I'm talking to a guy who has got 4 lawn jockeys on his front porch, and he's asking me if I like watermelon.
What happened next was pure magic.
Meshach went into an improvisation that lasted 5 minutes before they had to stop him. His natural comedic timing, his understanding of character development, and his ability to create authentic moments on the spot left everyone speechless.
Chemistry was so good between Delta and I. They really thought that maybe we'll bring him back.
Suzanne, let me give you a little piece of advice, okay?
Okay.
Don't worry about that.
This is great. We like what you're doing. We'll hire you on the spot. But they told him he'd be a recurring character for maybe 5 episodes. Nobody could have predicted what would happen next. When the producers saw Meshach's chemistry with Dixie Carter, Delta Burke, Annie Potts, and Jean Smart, they knew they'd discovered something special.
And here you have 4 white girls from the South. You know, this young black guy, and anytime we're alone in a room, we're real good friends. There's nothing, no hanky-panky between us.
Anthony Bouvier wasn't just the delivery man anymore. He was becoming the heart of the show. What started as a one-time guest appearance became a 7-season journey that would define Meshach's career and create one of television's most groundbreaking characters. Anthony Bouvier wasn't just comedy relief. He was a complex character dealing with real issues. An ex-convict working to rebuild his life, a black man navigating relationships with 4 white Southern women, a working-class person earning respect in a business environment.
It says here that Consuelo is 15 years older than me.
Oh, big deal. Everybody ages differently, doesn't mean a thing.
The show tackled HIV, spousal abuse, civil rights, and social justice, with Anthony often serving as the voice of reason and moral clarity. When the topic of segregated country clubs came up, it was Anthony who provided the historical context about military segregation lasting until 1948. This wasn't just entertainment. This was social commentary wrapped in humor and humanity. In 1989, Meshach received an Emmy nomination for Outstanding Supporting Actor in a Comedy Series. This wasn't just career recognition. It was acknowledgement that Meshach had created something unique in American television. The nomination came during Designing Women's peak popularity, when the show was helping anchor CBS's Monday night comedy block alongside Murphy Brown. But for Meshach, the nomination represented validation of everything he'd worked toward since those early days in Chicago theater. When Mannequin hit theaters in 1987, Meshach's portrayal of Hollywood Montrose, the flamboyant window dresser, Meshach created another iconic character that was completely different from Anthony Bouvier.
Hollywood Montrose, I'm nothing like that. But I tell you, it was a very liberating role to play, though.
His performance was so memorable that he was the only actor to appear in both the original film and its 1991 sequel.
I need to talk to you.
The wizard's not here. Go away, go away.
But its film career included dramatic work too. Damien, Omen 2, The Howling.
Shootout at a Western Avenue adult.
No knife, no gun, no nothing. The freak was clean. Now what the hell happened back there?
House of Games.
I just won $5,000 on the baseball game.
About giving me a taste.
Each role demonstrated his versatility and commitment to bringing authenticity to every character he played. In 1998, Meshach made his Broadway debut as Lumiere in Beauty and the Beast, starring alongside Toni Braxton.
Poor girl has lost her father and her freedom all in one day.
For someone who started in Chicago theater, reaching Broadway represented the completion of a journey that began 30 years earlier. Playing the enchanted candlestick wasn't just voice work. It required physical comedy, musical theater skills, and the ability to bring warmth and humanity to an animated character. Night after night, Meshach proved that his talents extended far beyond television comedy.
Esteemed mesdames et messieurs, it is with deepest pride and greatest pleasure that we welcome you.
In 1996, The Urban Gardener with Meshach Taylor premiered on HGTV. This wasn't just another hosting gig. It was Meshach sharing his passion for growing things, nurturing life, and finding beauty in unexpected places. The show revealed a different side of the man audiences knew for comedy. 2 years later, Meshach's Hidden Caribbean on the Travel Channel took viewers on journeys to discover the culture, history, and hidden treasures of Caribbean islands. His natural curiosity and genuine appreciation for different cultures made him the perfect guide for these explorations.
Morning. You hit Rockland's Bird Sanctuary a little bit outside of Montego Bay, Jamaica. It's a real kind of rural, nice spot.
But perhaps most tellingly, he became a regular panelist on the 2000 revival of To Tell the Truth, where his ability to read people and detect authenticity, skills honed through decades of creating authentic characters, made him a fan favorite.
Laser-like interrogative. She asked a question about Bathsheba, and Bathsheba was David's wife.
As a panelist on To Tell the Truth, Meshach displayed the intelligence and insight that had always driven his performances. Week after week,
he demonstrated an almost uncanny ability to identify the real person among the imposters, a skill that came from a lifetime of understanding human nature.
I don't know, it's just something about number one. I think that he probably is the guy who's training the wrestlers. I'm going to go with number one.
His questions weren't just clever, they were deeply observant, revealing someone who had spent decades studying what makes people authentic versus what makes them perform. The show became another venue for Meshach to connect with audiences, this time as himself rather than a character.
I think that probably the most exotic thing would be something like a Komodo dragon that someone got rid of. So I'm voting for number 3.
Joe Mantegna and Meshach Taylor first met in 1969 in the musical Hair, beginning a friendship that would last over 40 years. Their bond, forged in Chicago theater, survived Hollywood success, career changes, and the pressures of the entertainment industry. When Meshach guest starred on Criminal Minds in 2012 and 2014, playing Harrison Scott opposite Mantegna's David Rossi, it wasn't just professional collaboration, it was two old friends creating art together one more time. Mantegna's dedication of a 2015 Criminal Minds episode to honor Meshach after his death showed the depth of their connection.
Let's go then. No point. Permission to state the obvious, sir.
Permission denied.
After his first marriage ended in 1980, Meshach found lasting love with actress Bianca Ferguson in 1983. Bianca, known for her work on General Hospital, understood the demands of the entertainment industry and provided the stability that allowed Meshach to take creative risks. Together, they raised 4 children, Tamar from his first marriage, and Yasmin, Esme, and Tariq from their union.
This is my daughter Yasmin, and she's an African-American princess.
Yeah, wash your hands.
But Meshach's dedication to family extended beyond his immediate household. When his mother Hertha celebrated her 100th birthday just 11 days before his death, he insisted on traveling to Indiana to be with her, despite his illness. In May 1993, at age 46, Meshach returned to Florida A&M University to receive his bachelor's degree in theater arts. After leaving college just a few credits short of graduation 30 years earlier, he had finally completed the journey that began in Ohio and Florida. This wasn't just about getting a diploma, it was about honoring his parents' commitment to education and showing his children that learning never stops. The ceremony was particularly meaningful because it represented the full circle from academic family to successful performer back to academic achievement.
Doctors, we moved because we found a school that grades physical education on a pass-fail basis.
At the time of his death in 2014, Meshach's net worth was estimated at $500,000 to $1 million. In an industry where many actors chase millions, this modest figure reflected someone who chose roles based on artistic merit rather than financial gain. He consistently chose projects that challenged him creatively, from avant-garde theater in Chicago to family-friendly shows like Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide.
Volunteering is good for the school, and it's good for the heart. Now get to work.
His financial success wasn't measured in dollars, but in the longevity and respect his career earned. Dave's World ran from 1993 to 1997, and playing Sheldon Baylor for 4 seasons proved that Meshach wasn't just lucky with designing women. He could anchor another successful sitcom with a completely different character and tone.
Meanwhile, I'm out there 3 times a week coaching your son and my daughter and 14 other kids. And do you know why?
Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide ran from 2004 to 2007, and while it might have seemed like an unusual choice for a veteran actor, it represented Meshach's understanding that connecting with young audiences was just as important as earning critical acclaim.
Listen, I respect your vision, but I want her put away.
It's squiggly lines.
Just do it.
Playing Alistair White, the social studies teacher who becomes the school principal, allowed him to mentor young actors while bringing dignity and humor to a character that could have been a stereotype.
Now, if anyone can figure out a way to work with a kid who blasts the pants cannon constantly.
His last major television appearances were on Criminal Minds, where he played Harrison Scott, a Vietnam veteran struggling with trauma and loss.
My son Thomas and his wife live on the other side of those hills.
These episodes, filmed just months before his death, showed a dramatic range that reminded viewers why he'd won awards decades earlier. The fact that Joe Mantegna specifically requested Meshach for these roles and later dedicated an episode to his memory speaks to the professional respect he'd earned throughout his career.
Throughout his career, Meshach never forgot the importance of education instilled by his parents. He regularly returned to speak at universities, mentor young actors, and support theater education programs. His approach to mentoring wasn't just about technique. It was about understanding the responsibility that comes with the ability to influence audiences. Young actors who worked with him consistently noted his professionalism, his preparation, and his willingness to share knowledge without ego. The colorectal cancer diagnosis could have broken a lesser man, but Meshach faced his illness with the same grace and determination he'd brought to every role. Even as his strength declined, he continued working, continued being present for his family, and continued inspiring those around him.
Meshach was a gift. And if you never saw him, I'm sorry. You missed it.
His decision to travel to Indiana for his mother's 100th birthday celebration, despite being terminally ill, showed the values that had guided him throughout his life. Family first, education always, and never giving up on the people you love. On April 12, 2014, Meshach's 67th birthday party became an impromptu reunion of Chicago theater legends. Joe Mantegna, Dennis Franz, Gene Smart, Delta Burke, Gerald McRaney, Shoto Stevens, and Ernie Hudson gathered to celebrate their friend. Nobody knew it would be their final celebration together, but the gathering represented everything Meshach had built over his career: lasting friendships, mutual respect, and the knowledge that he'd made a difference in the lives of everyone he'd worked with. On June 28, 2014, at 10:47 p.m. at his home in Altadena, California, surrounded by family and friends, Meshach Taylor took his final bow. The man who had spent his life bringing joy to others faced his ending with the same grace and determination he'd brought to every performance.
Come with me. Where? To honor our dead.
His family statement was perfect in its simplicity. It is with love and gratitude that we sorrowfully announce that our darling, amazingly brilliant, and dynamic Meshach, the incredible father, husband, son, and friend, has begun his grand transition. On July 6, 2014, at Forest Lawn Memorial Park in Hollywood Hills, the service celebrating Meshach's life brought together representatives from every phase of his career: Chicago theater colleagues, designing women castmates, film collaborators, and television friends.
Excuse me, but are you just completely uncouth or what? Can't you see we're having a family reunion here?
But perhaps the most meaningful attendees were the young actors he'd mentored, the students he'd inspired, and the children who'd grown up watching him on Ned's declassified school survival guide. Their presence proved that his influence extended far beyond entertainment.
Ned, this is a bit distracting to the rest of the students.
You got a problem with that?
Are you the kid who takes pants?
In an industry obsessed with opening weekend box office numbers and social media followers, Meshach Taylor represented something increasingly rare. An actor who understood that the craft comes first, relationships matter most, and success is measured by the positive impact you have on others. From that summer day in 1972, when Hair ended in Chicago and he decided to stay, to his final performance on Criminal Minds in 2014, Meshach created characters that brought joy, understanding, and dignity to millions of viewers. Today, when young actors ask about breaking into the business, Meshach Taylor's story provides a roadmap that has nothing to do with luck and everything to do with dedication. 8 years in Chicago theater, awards for dramatic performances, the courage to live in his car while pursuing his dreams, the wisdom to choose roles that challenged him rather than just paid him.
So education is absolutely the key. After it's on film school, we gotta keep going the skirt.
His journey from Boston to Broadway, from college dropout to Emmy nominee, from unknown actor to beloved television icon, proves that authentic talent combined with unwavering commitment can create something lasting and meaningful. He left us with something precious, proof that dreams pursued with integrity and supported by genuine relationships can create magic